Alright guys, so today I'll be doing a PlayStation Game Collection video. I've got a lot of games here and not a lot of time, so let's just get right to it. First one up, as you can see, Grand Theft Auto 4. A lot of people like this game, and for good reason too. It had a really good story, had great gameplay mechanics, had great graphics, everything about the game was great. It had great expansion packs, and I mean, who hasn't played Grand Theft Auto 4 by now? By now you're either a fan of the series or you're not. Next one up is Resistance Fall of Man. This is another great game, incredibly different, especially by today's standards, for the first-person shooter genre. Health packs, carrying 12 weapons at a time, a really long campaign which has basically no scripted moments whatsoever. It's a really good first-person shooter, especially if you want something different, especially if you feel like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Medal of Honor, and Crysis, they're all kind of the same. If you really feel like they're all the same, Resistance is something different. With the exception of number 2, they're always different than what you're used to. Like I said, health packs and all that kind of stuff. It's really fun and a joy to play. Killzone 2. At the time, this game had a bit of mixed opinions. Some people said it felt heavy, sluggish, weighty, and all that kind of stuff. But what Guerrilla Games was really going for was just a very realistic, very deep first-person shooter, and they pulled it off. I mean, if you really stuck by this game, you kind of got a handle on the controls, and you really understood what the game was about. You really had a fun time playing this game, and luckily I was one of those people. I put like over 200 hours in this game. I got to the second highest rank in multiplayer, and I loved it to death. Unfortunately, the community is dead now, and the campaign's not the greatest, so it's kind of a hard game to recommend by today's standards. Let me just grab the next game. Next game up, Uncharted Drake's Fortune. The Uncharted series is well known now. It is one of Sony's mascots. Nathan Drake is an awesome protagonist, and this is where it all started from, Uncharted Drake's Fortune. If you haven't played the Uncharted series by now, you should really give it a go. It's a really good series. While number 1 is not it is by far the weakest out of the trilogy, it still is a very good title. It's just kind of not the 9.5 game of the year contender that 2 and 3 was. It was just kind of like your good game that you had a good time with. So definitely pick it up, and you can pick it up for really cheap now. So don't be afraid from the Uncharted series, especially if you are thinking about buying a PS3 soon. Pick up number 1, 2, 3. They're really fun. Next game up is Heavenly Sword. Had a lot of fun with Heavenly Sword as well, but be aware, guys, this game is extremely short. We're talking 3 hours at maximum 4 here, but it's a really good game. It has really good pacing to it. It has great acting. In fact, the guy who did the acting for Gollum in Lord of the Rings actually did King Bohan, who's the main villain in the game. And it's a really well acted, really fun. It's almost like, seeing a movie in terms of its pacing and whatnot. And it is. It's, like I said, 3 hours. So if you can pick this game up for $10 or something like that, seriously give it a try, guys. It has really good pacing, it has good combat, and it has one hell of an ending and a really cool ass boss battle. So definitely check it out, guys, if you get the chance to. Next game up, Ratchet & Clank Future Tools A Crack in Time. This is another great title. A lot of people like the Ratchet & Clank series, and for good reason. It's just incredibly fun to play, has great writing, great characters. Everything's cool about this game. Next game up as well, Tools of Destruction, the first out of the PS3 trilogy. Same deal goes for that. Eternal Sonata, a great JRPG title. Definitely, if you like JRPGs or Japanese RPG games, check it out. It's really fun. Dark Sector, another great game. Had a lot of fun with this one too, but it definitely has. It's dated now. Multiplayer is dead, and it is not exactly the best multiplayer game. The campaign doesn't feel. The control scheme doesn't quite translate well by today's standards. There's no vibration of the PS3 controller or anything like that, but it's a pretty cool setup. You got the blade here on the cover, and you can basically slice guys' torsos and stuff like that off. It's a gore fest, but it has an interesting concept as well, where you're this agent investigating something for the agency, and you basically end up getting slightly mutated, and the mutation is slowly spreading. You can see kind of on the cover here. So definitely check the game out. It's pretty cool. If you can pick it up for cheap, it's not a bad game at all. So now I gotta get another game. And the next one would be Lair. A really fun game as well. Or I should say rather more interesting game. A lot of things going up on screen at once, and they really fixed up. I can't imagine this game only being used as with the six-axis controller. If you remember when this game first came out, you had only 6 axes. It literally locked you into using motion control on the PS3 controller, and it's really annoying. They fixed it up by patching in analog sticks, but again, the game just has so much potential, but it's just not quite there, and I really struggled to play a lot, any amount of time with this game. Next game up is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Another fun superhero game. Best thing this game has going for it is that it's really Spider-Man-ish. You have, as you can see, 4 different Spider-Man right there, and it's really cool. The biggest problem about this game, though, is they don't give you an open-world city to kind of explore. There's no Manhattan, no nothing. It's just very linear, go beat 'em up, and it's incredibly straightforward. Next game up is Medal of Honor. Good first-person shooter, not the greatest. It's kind of like your B-rated game where you play it, you pass it, you beat it, you put it in your game collection, and you'll never touch it again. God of War the Collection. Love this collection so much. This was the first of its kind at the time. A lot of people love the idea of being able to, remaster an old classic or resurrect, some classic PS2 titles and put them back in HD with some trophy support. And that's what they did with God of War, the series. Number 1 is fantastic. Number 2 is absolutely great. And believe me when I say I played a lot of games in my time. And God of War 2 is my favorite action-adventure game of all time. God of War 2, that is. It's really good. Definitely check it out, guys, if you haven't already. The God of War collection is absolutely phenomenal. You can pick it up for dirt cheap now as well. Super Street Fighter 4. Well, what can I say? It's a Street Fighter game. Good fighter. Trying to get next games here. Final Fantasy 13. Great title as well. I didn't hate it as much as other people did, but I did feel like this game needs to kind of step it up a bit. How linear it was, just how problematic there was with the combat system. I mean, come on, we have systems as powerful as the PS3 and 360 now. You should be able to make something a little bit more advanced than, you call it what you will, but I still call it turn-based battles. You're just waiting for a bar to fill up and attack. I feel like we can kind of, if anyone can, Square Enix should be able to make something new and refreshing and innovative for the Final Fantasy series, because it deserves it a lot. Next game up is Resident Evil 5, the Gold Edition. Great title, especially if you can play it in co-op. It definitely helps out a lot. Obviously, Resident Evil 6 is out now, and like I said, the Resident Evil series is almost like a co-op game now. Heavy Rain, a tough game to describe. If you like story, if you like books or anything like that, Heavy Rain's all about story, all about it, through and through. Tons and tons of choices, different endings and whatnot. You play as 4 different protagonists throughout the game, right? You can see on the cover here. Some of them intertwine with one another. It's a button prompt game, so if you're fighting someone, you'll say duck, and you'll have to swing the 6-axis controller down, and if you want to do a hook, you kind of go like Fight Night Round, it'll say like rotate the right analog stick and all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool game, guys. A lot of different levels, a lot of different dialogue and all that. Like I said, if you like story, you'll love Heavy Rain. I'm going to start speeding it up here. Uncharted 2, everyone knows the Uncharted series. It's one of the best action-adventure games this generation. Game of the year, everything about it rocks. If you're getting a PS2, if you're getting a PS3, or any of my friends ever get a PS3, they say, what franchise should I start off with? My answer is almost always Uncharted. Next game up is God of War 3. Like I said, great action-adventure game with great combat. Love the boss battles in this one, though. Really fun. Versing Hercules and Hades and Zeus and Poseidon and all those great guys. It was really fun. Even the Titans as well. Dead Space 2, great survival horror game. I feel like it's losing a little bit of its horror steam. Hopefully Dead Space 3 can kind of, fix that up a bit, but I'm not exactly holding my breath. Next game up, Gran Turismo Racing Simulator. Everyone knows the Gran Turismo series by now. Infamous 2, great action-adventure game, great superhero game. I played number 1 when it was for free, when the PS3 hack came, and Sony offered some great PS3 exclusives, and had to get number 2. Loved it. Catherine, a really good puzzle game with a great story. It's very anime-like in its story. A love triangle with a guy named Vincent Brooks, who's right in the middle there, and kind of a love triangle with a new girl, Catherine, you can see here, with a C, and Catherine with a K, who's his girlfriend, and all this crazy stuff ends up happening throughout the story. It's a really tough game to describe that. I definitely don't have enough time to Now move on to some of the collector's editions. And Resistance 3, really cool game, loving it. I'm so close to the end here. I've had this game for about a month now, so it's taking me a little bit too long to beat. But I love the whole setup behind it. That it's just survival. It's you know, it's not exactly trying to pull off the impossible and stop nukes and all that kind of stuff. It's just about survival, really, and trying to stop something from happening. Uncharted 3, the collector's edition, love the number 3. I still reckon number 2 is slightly better, but everyone has their own opinion on that. Killzone 3, bit of a disappointment. Campaign was better, multiplayer was unbalanced as hell, and the community quickly died for this game, so that hurts. Metal Gear Solid 4, love this game so much. My favorite game of all time, Metal Gear Solid 4. Just everything it was able to do, crazy good. Demon's Souls, Deluxe Edition, love this game as well. Beat it. Took me a long time to beat. Really needed help from co-op buddies and all that kind of stuff. Loved it. Really tough game as well. And Castlevania Lords of Shadow Collector's Edition. I still haven't beat this game. I haven't put it in my PS3 in a long time. But it's a good action-adventure game from what I played, which was about 3 hours only. But everyone says it has a really cool ending. So, give that a go. Alright guys, so that's my PS3 game collection. Just one last look. I know it's kind of far there. And there you are. Thanks guys for watching.